and the fact that that God could forgive me for committing adultery, but that also there was life after that. I kind of felt like the marriage that I was living in, like I had to pretend that I was happy, even though I wasn't on the inside. Sheltered, I saw this person as like, I almost idolized this person because he had lived this life. Like, he told me stories and has told stories before about how all of this crazy stuff that to me was just like the most fascinating thing in the world. I'd never met anyone like that. So I don't know why, but I literally believed everything that he said. I feel like a effing idiot. EFFFFFING. Just give it to me, baby. Tell me I wasn't Britney Spears. I'm not that innocent. Yeah, but so I'm about to tell you guys a really big secret. I am pregnant with my ex-husband's baby while I'm in the middle of a divorce from my current husband. But hang tight. The story is so ratchet, you're probably gonna think it's crazy. But hi, I'm Abby. Most of you probably know me as House of Keto on TikTok. But I'm here to tell you guys, I've been living two lives, one on another social media platform and one here. And the one that I've been living here, I've tried to make like perfectly curated and only recipes, but I just can't do that anymore because that's not who I am. And I feel like you guys don't really know me. Like, you're like, yeah, I'll give this girl a follow because she makes lunch boxes, and I agree or I don't agree with how she feeds her kids healthy foods or whatever, but I don't know, over on the other apps, people like know my whole ratchet story. Like the Jerry Springer, well, not the Jerry Springer version, it's more like the Sally Jesse Raphael or like the Ricky Lake version. But I'm here today to tell you guys I can't keep living two lives, okay? I just want you guys to know who I am, know what I'm about, and you'll either love me or hate me. So if you decide to unfollow me because you're like, girl, I'm only here for your recipes and because you know how to season. Well, yes, thank you. I do know how to season, but you're gonna get a whole lot more than that. And one or two things, you're either going to hate me, like literally hate me, but still not be able to look away, or you're gonna love me and you're gonna want to be best friends. And I'm gonna want to be best friends with you too because I don't have any friends. Well, I mean, I do have friends, but like, I like to stay home. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so anyway, yeah, what else about me? So yeah, when I was 7 years old, I met the love of my life. We literally fell in love. I was 7, he was 10. We got married when I was 19 and he was 21. We have our daughter together, Penelope, she's 12. But here's what I did. I cheated on him with my boss. Yeah, I know, I'm like a shit person. I got caught and I was pretty belligerent. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna apologize. Like, I was like, I don't think you're treating me the best, and you used to break my heart all the time when we were kids, and I deserve this, blah, blah, blah. Cut to 10 years later, living a miserable life because I ended up marrying our boss, the man that I cheated on him with. We had a child together, and we are literally in the middle of a divorce right now. But I'm pregnant with my first husband's baby. Like, well, he's actually not my first husband, but that's another story for another day. And that other one doesn't really count because I was just a ratchet teenager and I ran away from home and like married this guy that I didn't even know. But that's another story for another day. Y'all are probably like, what the hell? We were here for the recipes.
So this is very strange, and this woman sounds like she's not playing with a full deck at all. So you want to divulge this information between, like, you had the love of your life, you left, you married him, you left it, you cheated on him with your boss, you married the boss, now you're back pregnant by your original first husband. You know, and women will say stuff, I was young, so on and so forth. I get the whole thing, but come on, you're married, you take vows and stuff like that. And the fact that this dude went back to her and, you know, shot the club up again, I'm assuming for a second time, while she was with the boss. I mean, it's just crazy. And what this woman is talking about is just bananas. Like, it's obvious this woman's a freak for attention. And this doesn't seem like a solid chick. She's just here for the camera and things like that, and she's not all there. But we're gonna go on to the next, because there's quite a few clips of her talking about this same thing and talking about a bunch of nothing. So I'm just trying to chop it up where we can get straight to the point with her, because she's very long-winded. So anyway,
that's a long task, like standing. I don't think anyone ever calculates how long it is, but yeah, I don't want to come off as like it's not a big deal or I don't care, but I dealt so long. I lived for 10 years in like shame and embarrassed of what I had done. And I think that was part of the reason that I stayed for so long, because it was embarrassing. Like we had got together, like I just conveniently left that part out because obviously, you know, doesn't sound good, and everybody had so many questions that I didn't want to answer. And honestly, back then I didn't want to take accountability or responsibility for it. It wasn't really until about 3 years ago that I really started to open that up and explore it. And it was only because I started going to therapy, and was able to like talk to a therapist. I went to a Christian therapist, actually. Like I spent 2 weeks in Colorado where I went for like 5 hours a day because I was just really struggling with this. And she kind of opened my eyes to the thought and the fact that that God could forgive me for committing adultery, but that also there was life after that. I kind of felt like the marriage that I was living in, like I had to pretend that I was happy, even though I wasn't on the inside, because it was the best that it was going to be, and I didn't really feel like I deserved.
Hypergamy. Listen, guys, women live in the moment, and like I said, they'll blame it on youth, things like that. I think, to my knowledge, she's like 33, 34 at this point where she's making this video. You cheated on your husband, got pregnant, I believe, divorced him for this other guy who you deemed to be success. Who was your boss, both you guys' boss, right? Your boss, as you said. And like, who the hell, like, and you just say, well, I just had to make myself feel like I was happy and that I was content in the situation. Of course, some people are going to turn on you. You got some of these hoes. Girl, be happy. Go be with. Cheat on your husband. If you want to be happy with that man that's making more than your husband and he's the boss, go cheat on him so you can go and be happy. Women give the worst fucking advice even to their friends. But the fact that she's just saying this, and it took her, I went to therapy 5 hours up in Colorado, and I didn't know what was going on and all this stuff like that. Like, you know, I mean, come on, man. It's just the amount of, I wasn't accepting accountability till 3 years ago. It's still like you're not accepting accountability. And I think some of these videos that are coming up, you're actually making very light of it, the whole situation, which is crazy. But let's get back to it though.
Than that. So if there's anything I want people to learn from this, it's not that Abby has a ratchet life and she can still make recipe videos. No, I want you to learn that no matter what mistake you make, you can never go so far away that God's like, I never want to deal with you again. Like, he's not disgusted by you. He doesn't want nothing to do with you. Like, that's who God wants. Like, he wants the liars and the thieves and the adulterers and even the murderers. Like, that's who God wants. And I came to this realization, like, man, wait a second. God actually sent his son to die on the cross for me, for this, to be able to forgive this sin. And not only does he forgive, but he also offers redemption. So just struggling and dealing with that whole thought of forgiveness in general was a big thing for me. And then comes Anthony entering back into my life, and this whole concept of redemption and it being better than it was before. It's just like, whoa, God, this is insane. And again, I'm not a super religious person. I've just experienced some truths that I learned from the Bible in my own life, and I know them to be true. And I know I didn't do it. And it ain't the universe. It's the God who created.
So of course she gets into the whole religious tip now, and now that she's hit the wall and everything. The Anthony, who's I guess your ex-husband, now that the one that you cheated on for your boss, for both of you guys' boss, he decides to take you back. I mean, we hear this phrase, which I always joke around with you guys, love conquers all, right? Love conquers all. For you to do that, I find it very difficult for that amount of betrayal, to take somebody back in my life, and just, he must have really wanted you for 10 years, 11 years, like you have on here. You're gonna dive back in after this man was desecrating your old lady, and you're gonna shoot the club up to get her pregnant again? Like, I don't know, man. Anyway.
The boss, 18 years older than me and Anthony were both working for this boss. And the boss basically like started texting me, like he was texting me on my personal phone while I was at work, like, who's making you smile? You know, things like that. It was like stuff like that. And then it just turned into something that it shouldn't have been. You know? If I wasn't supposed to be texting at work, just come over to my desk and tell me to get off the phone. But I was actually good at my job, answering the phone, you know. So I might be on the phone with my little headset on. You couldn't tell me I wasn't Britney Spears. I'm not that innocent. Yeah, but I would be like, probably texting Anthony, like smiling or whatever. And he was like, the boss would text and be like, I'm sorry, I'm eating. I'm talking like y'all are here in my kitchen. Who's making you smile? Texting me on my personal cell phone. His office was like right there. He could have just been like, Abby, you need to get off the phone. You stop texting while you're working, but whatever. Then Anthony finds out I like left my phone home one day on accident. And then like I had to go back and get it, and Anthony saw it and was crushed. I know. It was a bad day. A really bad day. Really bad day. Really, really bad day. Anthony obviously quit. Anthony quit. Our daughter was like 9 months old.
So just got a newborn, 9 months old. Y'all working for the same guy. The boss is clapping your wife's cheeks, and she's just like, I couldn't care less about it. So what? I'm doing my thing. What are you gonna do about it? And he took you back 10 years later after dude done did you in the worst. But anyway, let's get back to it, man. This is crazy.
When he found out, and it was horrible. I destroyed my whole family. Like I wasn't thinking about my daughter. I wasn't thinking about Anthony. I was just a selfish 19, 20-year-old at this point. Just doing whatever. There's more. You want to hear the rest of this story. But the next 10 years was like, stick around. Give me a follow. Just give it to me, baby. Anthony and I, the guy that I met when I was 7, second husband, childhood sweetheart, are divorced. So throughout our divorce wasn't like, our divorce wasn't nasty like he's fighting I'm fighting. Our divorce was like I was fighting. I was just like, I said a lot of really shitty things about Anthony. I said a lot of things about Anthony that were not true. Mind you now, unnamed boss had a really big hand in how I handled my divorce. 18 years older than me, very influential, very convincing.
Do we smell, once again, no accountability? I said some nasty things about him. My boss had a lot to do with what I said. He made me do these things. It wasn't of my own volition or whatever. It was based off of what he said, and I didn't have any play. It wasn't my idea. It was his idea. Just cut the shit out, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know right. It's like women go on for years. I don't know right from wrong. I didn't know what I was doing, but you can point out to a man that he's not doing right and he's wrong. It's crazy shit ever, man. But let's go.
This is my opinion. Very, just like, this is what you need to do. Writing things for me. me rewriting them in my handwriting, things like that. Okay. Throughout the divorce process, I end up like being isolated from my family. My family did not support what I was doing whatsoever. Anthony's family was still here in Virginia, but Ob's did not support it. Literally isolated from all of our friends, my family, like just they didn't support what I was doing, and if they didn't support what I was doing, I had to cut them off. So I didn't.
Perfectly said. This is how women are. You know, if you don't support them in their fuckery and their ratchetness as other friends, this is why women typically have other women that are like a pep rally. They go to other women for a pep rally because other women really aren't going to say, you know, you are wrong, you know, you were fucked up. And women give a false sense of righteousness. They think that they're righteous because their friends are supporting them in their fuckery. And if you don't support me in my fuckery, then you're against me. You're not my friend. That's how women look at shit.
Have any support. Literally the only person that I had was unnamed boss. So he was my only sounding board. He was my only place for advice. He was my only place to, if I was going to say, I don't know if I want to do this, or I don't know if I had nobody to say it to. Also, unnamed boss, it is my opinion that the entire last 10 years, or our entire relationship, that everything that I've done has been recorded, whether it be on audio recordings from my car, video recordings, cameras all over our house. If I even wanted to have a conversation where I would call someone and say, hey, I'm not really sure about this, or I think I'm making a mistake, I couldn't. I couldn't, is my opinion, because of the backlash that I would get from that. And it was just a really weird situation, a very weird dynamic in the relationship. And I think it had a lot to do because of the age, and because I had been so sheltered. I saw this person as like, I almost idolized this person because he had lived this life. Like, he told me stories and has told stories before about how he had been a drug dealer before, he had been shot, he had been stabbed, like all of this crazy stuff that to me was just like the most fascinating thing in the world. I'd never met anyone like that. So I don't know why, but I literally believed everything that he said. I feel like a effing idiot. EFFFFFING. Effing idiot.
So guys, you know, this is classic. You know, women typically think the same, and this is proof that women typically think the same. She wanted an emotional variety. Her boss was in a position of power, position of influence. He told her this story of all of these things because she was sheltered. She never heard of this, even though she had a good man at home. She didn't say anything about he was cheating and all these other things. But like, it's like, sometimes women find a reason. They'll try to make up a reason to dislike you so they can move on, and they'll do these things and then regret it later on. But this is classic cases of what she's saying. She's explaining stuff that we hear over and over from women and why they do these things, man. So I don't know. Like, it's beyond me. But let's get back to it.
But I did it. So our divorce was, it was rough. It was very rough. And I regret a lot of the things that I said and did.
So a lot of the things she said and did, she probably destroyed this guy. This guy probably just never got over her. You know, probably never moved on, never realized his sense of self or sense of worth. It was attached to her. And being as traumatic, and you would think for any man this would be traumatic. The situation, especially her making the divorce difficult, being that he filed for it, and then you're going to marry the guy who's your boss. And then this guy, for him to go back to you after all these years, knowing what you did, and you're saying, well, I was young and things like that. It's like, come on, bro. Anyway, this is just bananas, man. But let me know what you guys think, man. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on Linktree to book a one-on-one with yours truly. Hit me up on Instagram. Purchase all my books, merch, t-shirts. It helps to support the channel. And listen, much blessings and abundance. You guys stick around for the next video. Peace be upon you. This is Wisdom, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.
It's God's beat maker.
And I don't know. I haven't put a light in the sky for the G's that done turn memory from go. Blessings we send to the ghetto youth them.